Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 21 career mode, and today we are here for the final episode in Moto2. We've got to do the final race of the season at Valencia, and then also in this episode I'm going to sort out which MotoGP team I'm going to sign for, so do stick around to the end for that. But first of all, of course, we've got to do the Valencian Grand Prix, but we have got to advance forward to that point. There we are, week 43. You can see there is actually a couple of things here on the headquarters. Our engine upgrade is finished, our frame upgrade is finished. However, the frame is effectively fully maxed anyway. The only other upgrade is an optional one, so I can pick between the one I've got on now or the other one, so there's no point doing that. And the engine, yeah, okay, there is genuinely one upgrade left, but this is the last race of the season, so I don't need to upgrade this bike anymore. So I'll head into Valencia, and I'll see you after practice. I'm going to see what the pace is like. If the pace is good, I might start further down the order. I'm not 100% sure yet. I've got to see just how I get on in practice. But yeah, I'll see you at the end of practice, and I'll decide where I'm starting. So then, at the end of practice, you can see I wasn't actually even top of the time sheet, so I'm definitely not starting at the back of the grid. I've changed my mind on that completely. That was only going to be if I was a good, like, half a second quicker than the AI. But you can see here, I'm actually a tad slower, so it looks like we're going to have a good battle at the front. A bit like we did in Malaysia, actually, so that'll be nice to see. So 5th place there, not too bad. Only 88 thousandths off Fernandez. I did have traffic on my lap as well. You can see we're super close to the top, so it's not really a big issue. So we'll head into qualifying now, and let's see what we can do. That should be good enough to get us through straight into Q2. I would have thought that FP3 would be the fastest time to the weekend, so yeah, I think we should be safe with that one. Yeah, case in point, right here, you can see that it is fastest. But it does seem like the times aren't broken this time, so that's great. It seems like the times are not broken for Valencia, so it just seemed to be Phillip Island and Sepang, weirdly enough. So we're here in Q2 then, and coming through qualifying 1, we had Jake Dixon, Aaron Canet, Celestino Vietti, and Jorge Navarro. You can see it's a pretty stacked Q2 actually, so this is going to be really tough to get a decent qualifying position. But of course, first order of business, as always, is to change the tyres. We don't want to be on those worn set from free practice. Now, those tyres didn't actually do that many laps, and they've been quite destroyed, especially on the left-hand side. And that's just because, obviously, it's such an anti-clockwise circuit, so it just absolutely destroys the left-hand side of the tyre. That penultimate turn as well, when you get the rear spinning down there, that just obviously shreds the tyre. So that's something we'll have to watch out for in the race. For a one-off qualifying lap, it's not that bad that it should be an issue. So we'll head out onto the track, and hopefully we can do a decent lap time. Now, it's actually pretty tough to call this circuit, because sometimes I feel like it's a bit of a player track, other times I feel like it's a bit of an AI track, and I think it depends on the category more than anything. If you remember back to Moto3 at Valencia, which was a very long time ago, we did win that race, and we had decent pace compared to the AI. I don't think I actually put it on pole position. I seem to remember fighting through. If you actually can remember, it was the race where I randomly had a power cut midway through, but fortunately I was playing on my laptop, so it just disconnected the charger rather than actually turning the computer off and ruining the race. But yeah, I seem to remember sort of charging through a little bit. Maybe I just had a bad start or something, but I passed a few AI, got up into the lead and sort of cleared off. I seem to remember. So, the AI weren't too good there in Moto3. I've absolutely messed that up, so we'll have to go for another lap. But the AI weren't very good in Moto3 in any track, so it's not too representative. So the best thing to look at is probably like a last to first challenge that I've done around here. And I struggled quite a lot there, as Valentino Rossi, if you remember back to that video. So yeah, it's tough to say. On MotoGP 20, at least in the MotoGP class, definitely a player track, definitely. Again, if you've been subscribed for a long time, you may remember the finale to the first season of career mode at this circuit, where I was that much quicker than AI. I got to the front and just like backing them up because, well, I needed Marquez to finish lower down. And if you do remember, his brother actually took him out, so that helped me out a lot. Towards the line, what would this have been? Obviously, I did roll off, yeah, 36, so yeah, I must have rolled off more than I thought. 35.5 currently is pole position by Iagora. Oh, come on, I've made a mistake into turn 1 already. Perhaps Palmer 3 was not the best decision. I think it's unsettling the rear a little bit too much, especially on corner entry. So see what the sector time is then. 3/10 off Agora, so we are pretty far off the pace I did in free practice by the looks of it, which is not going to be too good for my starting position and my chances of winning this race, that's for sure. So I don't want to go out of Moto2 with a bang. Well, Sam Lowe's has done a 34.4, so he's absolutely obliterated what Agora had. 1.1 seconds quicker, so whatever the gap was, it's going to be a lot bigger now. So coming up towards the line, how far are we going to be off Sam Lowe's? 1.5 seconds. Wow, that's well, that's still 8th place, but yeah, I think that's going to be beaten. Well, I messed up the first corner, so I'm actually going to have to go for another lap, but I'm kind of running out of tyres, which is a problem because obviously I'm going to have to save them for the race. So I'll head back to the pits now, have another go at doing a flying lap, because we're currently down in 10th place, and obviously that's not good enough. Well, you can see I'm now down in 17th position, so yeah, the time definitely needs to be improved. But unfortunately, the AI overheated the rear tyre on the outlap, so I should have just done an outlap myself, I think, manually, because I think the AI kind of ruining the tyre is not great. But yeah, we've still got one medium tyre left on the rear and on the front. I've had to stick the same front back on because I didn't have enough front tyres. I might go for a hard rear in the race, I'm not sure. Probably not a hard front though, I think the medium front will last. I'm not really struggling with the front end, it's the rear end. So up towards the line, this is 1.2, 1.3 seconds quicker than the previous lap. Where's this gonna put me? 5th place, that is much more like it. Now I'm not going to get any more out of that tyre, that's for sure. So 5th place at best with 4 minutes to go. Only 5 thousandths ahead of Ben Schneider. That could easily change, so I'll head back to the pits, fast forward to the end of the session and see where I end up. So in the end then, there weren't actually any improvements from the AI, so stayed in 5th position. Remy Gardner takes pole position ahead of Marco Bezzecchi in 2nd place. Agora in 3rd place, so capping off what's been a pretty decent second half of the season for Agora. 4th place for Sam Lowes, finally looks like he's back on form. Obviously a little bit too little too late, he's already got 2nd place wrapped up in the championship. He can't win the championship anymore, so a little bit too little too late from Sam, but it'd be nice to see him back at the front. 5th place for me, not too bad. Let's get stuck in, I want to have a good battle, end off Moto2 on a high note, so let's get this race started and let's see what happens. So we're down here on the grid, and I think the game is recommending a medium rear tyre, which I don't know how many laps this race is. I think if I want to be competitive, I need to have the medium on, because we noticed in the last couple of races when I was trying to run the hard because I was getting too much tyre wear, I just wasn't quick enough. So I think if I'm going to have the out and out pace, I'm going to have to go with the medium just to try and challenge the AI. But I think I'm definitely going to suffer with the tyre towards the end. So we will see. This could be a really bad mistake, but it doesn't matter about the result at the end of the day. We've already got the championship. We've already got, you know, enough reputation to sign to a MotoGP team. So there's nothing on the line here. I just want to see if I can try and win this race. At least have a good battle anyway if I don't. So probably the best way to do that is to go with the same tyres that I think the AI will use. So let's get this race started then, and let's enjoy our final Moto2 outing.
The riders are all on the starting grid. Just a few moments to go, and the lights will go out at the Ricardo Tormo track in Valencia.
So Remy on the pole then, alongside Bezzecchi and Agora. Then it's Sam Lowes, then it's myself. The lights are on, waiting for the lights to go here at Valencia. Lights out and away we go. How's the start been? Not too great, to be honest. We've been swamped by a few riders already. Augusto Fernandez goes flying past Vierge. Raul Fernandez around the outside as well. So we're down to 10th place. So we lost 5 positions on the run into that first corner. But can we do another brutal one-lap comeback like we've done a few times this season after getting a bad start? So we go around the outside of Vierge. Go around the outside of Ben Schneider as well. We're a little bit wide. Strotter's on the outside there. Vierge actually got back through because of that, so we're back down to 7th, but it's still an improvement over 10th. And we're on the inside of Vierge now, and Ben Schneider as well. Oh, we've touched Ben Schneider a little bit. That was a bit too aggressive, so I do apologise to Bo for that. But we're up to 5th place now, back behind Sam Lowes, so we're back to our starting position after a terrible start. That's something I've had to get quite good at doing this season. My starts have not been the best. It's been a crash by, not sure who it is. Tried to take a quick look there, but I couldn't see anything at all. I need to try and get on the back of these leaders. Before they get away, I braked way too hard at lean there, and I've just about got away with it. But the bike snapped quite a bit, and to get a bike to snap at GP21, you've got to do something pretty nasty to it. So then we seem to be closing. This is, well, that is the section where you close on the AI quite a lot. They're pretty good through the last section, to be fair, but that third sector, they're not so good. Oh, okay, we've definitely got away with something there because we touched that curb on the inside. The bike we just got completely hit, basically. It was like hitting a wall. And now we're going to hit Sam Lowes. Wow, this has been a scrappy first lap. This has not been ideal whatsoever. So coming back on the circuit, Vierge's got back past me. Ben Schneider's back past me. Looks like Strotter's coming back past me as well. So I think we've just resigned ourselves here to battling for 5th place at best. Try to go around the outside into turn 1. Why I did that, I'm not really sure. I kind of had no choice, but we did pick off Ben Schneider, so actually wasn't the worst move in the world, but didn't help me advance forward, that's for sure. Oh, looking at the inside of Marcel Schrotter. We're going to do the switch back up the inside like we did on the previous lap. No, he turns it a bit earlier than they did last time, so we couldn't pull off the pass there like we did on the previous lap to him and Ben Schneider. I think Agora's holding up Sam by the looks of it, so they're actually slipping back towards us, which is good because that means a podium could be on the cards if we have a good couple of laps here. Looking at the inside of Schrotter. No, they don't go up the inside there. I forgot that they turn in way too early. They cut the grass there a lot, so you don't want to go up the inside because you'll end up on the grass. So unfortunately for now, we are going to be stuck behind Schrotter. Watch out for that curb again. This time we didn't hit the inside bit, so we didn't get bounced out. I think the hitbox on the green curb on the inside is a little bit broken. It bounces you a bit. And this last corner was much better as well. So much better last sector as a whole compared to the previous lap. So we'll use a little bit of Power Mode 3 just to try and get on the back of these guys, because my last corner exit is not very good and they always pull away from me a bit. So Sam Lowe's has got past Agora now, so that podium is probably going to go away. Sam is probably going to bolt. We're now at the inside of Schrotter. Can we get him? I think we've got him. I'm able to hang it around the outside though. No, I've got him. So I'm up to 6th position once again. So Vierge up next, then it's Agora, who obviously is looking pretty vulnerable because he's just been passed by Sam and he does seem to be struggling a little bit. Although if you remember back to Mazzano, we did find it very difficult to get past Agora, that's for sure. Be ready for the mistake into this corner from the AI. So they always tend to do it. They're a little wide. That can allow you to capitalise on the exit sometimes. You've got to be right there ready to make the pass. I wasn't close enough. You literally have to be on the back wheel really to capitalise because it's such a short straight. And the AI's drive out of corners is very good. I think it's because they have traction control on. I think that's why. But oh, I lost the front into that last corner there. We touched Vierge a little bit. We pushed him a bit wide. We've got the drive on him because of that, so it would be a bit mean to take that position off him, so we've not done so. We're getting in the slipstream off Vierge. Up towards the line then. 34.7. That's a bit more like it. We're a bit closer to Remy Gardner's time. Here we go around the outside into the first corner of Vierge. We've actually pulled it off somehow, so up to 5th place once again, so we're finally back to our starting position. It took all that time just to get back up to the starting position after that first lap mistake, where before we were right behind Sam Lowe's, which is pretty annoying. I need to try and dispatch of Agora if I can, and then see if I can try and hunt down Sam, because he's not a million miles away. So if I can get past Agora, Lowe's is beatable. So right behind Agora, can we make a pass down towards his left-hander? No, unfortunately not. You used to be able to outbrake them a lot into there, but not so much anymore. They're a lot better on the brakes into that corner. Or actually, it's probably more the fact the player has to brake a bit later now than they used to. Oh, we were right behind I there, ready to make a pass. This time we actually might be able to capitalise on this mistake. Here we are at the inside. No, it's just so difficult to get the power down. They have the traction control. It's worth so much time. So even a mistake like that, you can't quite capitalise on. I mean, it's hard enough anyway because the straight is so short. But yeah, it's very difficult to outdrive the AI. But at the last corner, once again, you can see he left me, although I'm not so good at the last corner, so it is partially down to that as well. But we've got a really good slipstream on him, bit of Power Mode 3, flying past Agora, up to 4th place. So starting the penultimate lap, we've got 2 laps to try and catch and pass Sam. What's the gap? 7/10. That's not unassailable. That's not unassailable, so this is on here. This is on. I'm going to give it everything I've got. I did just pick up a track limits warning, but you can see we have gained a lot on Sam Lowe's here. You can see my pace. It is going to be a new fast lap of the race if I can keep this up. It's a shame. We actually had the pace to win this race if I'd started a bit better. Well, it wasn't even the start. It was just the first lap, really. Because I'd recovered to my starting position by the end of the first lap. And here we are, like 5 laps later. I've only gained 1 more position because of all the time I lost at the last corner. There you go. Not a great exit, but hopefully this will be the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 34.2. Yeah, that would have been pole position, I think, as well. So we seem to be finding the rhythm now, even on slightly worn tyres. So let's see, can we pass Sam on this lap? Because we've gained, well, we've about half the gap to him, so it is going to be close. I'm just not going to be close enough to Sam, unfortunately. I made a little mistake. I ran a bit wide, just trying to take more yards out of him on the brakes. But yeah, I'm not going to quite be able to pass him, unfortunately. You can see I'm right there, I'm right behind him. Probably could have had a go on the next lap, but there is no next lap, so it's going to be 4th, I think, here. I hit that curb again, just like on lap 1. So yeah, that's definitely 4th place. Fortunately, we had a big gap over Agora, so he couldn't capitalise. But yeah, hopefully they fix that curve for 22, because that is terrible. I didn't get anywhere near that curve. Well, if I watched the footage back, I probably did. But here here we go then, up towards the line. We're going to end off our Moto2 career with a 4th place. Unfortunately, not quite a podium, but I gave it everything I had. I'll take the solace of having the fastest lap. I clearly had the pace. The tyre gamble paid off as well. I wasn't struggling too much with the tyres at the end, so that was good because I did the fast lap on the penultimate lap of the race. So yeah, a little bit frustrated because I could have won that race if I'd actually started well, but there you go, that just happens sometimes. I didn't have a very good rhythm in qualifying. I got into a good rhythm in the race, but that's a little bit too little too late. But you know what, 4th place, not too bad. Teammate won the race, so you know, not a terrible result, and we got fastest lap, so yeah, it's not too bad. So I'll have a look at the final championship standings then, and actually that was enough for Remy Gardner to move ahead of Marco Bezzecchi, so he's probably quite glad I didn't beat them both, because they would have been tied otherwise. That might have edged Remy still anyway, but just to confirm it, making me finish behind, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a bit of a change as well. Ben Schneider jumps ahead of Fernandez and Vietti. Augusto Fernandez moves ahead of Schrotter. Xavi Vierge actually jumps ahead of Canet. That's it in the Riders' Championship in terms of movement. Let's have a look at the teams. Looks like nothing's changed in the Teams Championship then. So, of course, we were already the champions. I think everything was basically wrapped up. Actually, it could have gone down to the wire between Marc VDS and Sky VR46 by the looks of it. I would assume that gap was less than 45 going in, judging by how it is now. Yeah, there was that position still to play for, but I think everything else... Oh, there was actually a 4th place for Intact GP and Grassini as well. 6th place for SAG and Petronas. So there were a few battles going into the last race. I mean, look at Italtrans and Idemitsu. They're only 1 point apart. So if Agora had finished 1 place better, I would have put them up to 8th in the championship. But what a Moto2 season it has been. It's been a long one because it took me so long to get through it, but I finally completed it, so I did get to MotoGP on this game, and I do plan on getting one MotoGP season at least done before MotoGP 22 comes out, which, as of the recording of this video, hasn't been announced yet, but it is rumoured that it's going to be announced the day after I'm recording this, so I imagine that by the time this video goes out, MotoGP 22 will have an official release date, and it'll be more than 20 days, so I know it's definitely possible for me to do a career mode in that time. I'll probably upload once every 2 days, once a day, something like that to try and get that season finished. But we'll head back to the career hub now then, and we'll sort of do all the ending for this season, get everything sorted with the contract for MotoGP and that. Of course, we got the cutscene first for winning the Moto2 World Championship as well. And we actually lost reputation from this weekend, funnily enough. We lost 7,000 for not meeting the objective, but then we got 500 for qualifying, 500 for the VIP multiplier, so we only lost 6,000 overall. But again, it doesn't matter. We've got like almost 400,000, and we're going to get a load for actually winning the championship in a minute as well, so no worries there. We got 1,500 credits. And here we go, here's where we get our reputation. So we get 70,000 for winning, and I forgot how broken the VIP multiplier was. We get another 70,000, so it'll be interesting to see if they change that for the next game, because if you bought it on day one, or pre-ordered it, sorry, on Steam, it just gave you the VIP multiplier, which basically broke career mode because you just doubled your reputation all the time. So we have a ridiculously large amount of reputation now. We've got 538,100. And on the credits, we've got 515,043 because we gained 269,000 credits there. You can see the credits got multiplied by 2 as well. So 19 wins, I guess that must be overall in the career mode. We now have 19 wins, so that's pretty good. 26 podiums, 20 pole positions. Looking at the actual results for this season, not too bad. I mean, 11th obviously was a bit rocky at Qatar, 2nd in Argentina, 8th at USA, a bit dodgy, but there you can see we went on a run of pretty good results there. 3rd place at Portimao. 2nd at Jerez, 1st at France, 1st in Italy, 3rd at Catalonia, which I think it was a race I should have won, but I made a big mistake. I think I contacted Navarro, something like that. We had a bad race at Sachsenring. I really struggled all weekend, so 8th was a good result there, but then we won at Assen, so again, another good result. Finland, of course, we crashed, but that's because I got knocked off by an AI, not because I made a mistake. It was a massive multi-rider pile-up, although I was nowhere anyway when it happened. Austria, 3rd place. Obviously, Britain, we had the contact with Sam, so we both went down there. Aragon, I think that's when I actually made an attempt at a return to the series. It had been a while, so I wasn't so fast. 2nd place at Misano. 1st, then 3 times in a row at Japan, Thailand, Australia. 3rd at Malaysia, 4th at Valencia. So pretty consistent season. So that's not why we ended up winning by such a margin in the end, because yeah, we had a few off races, but I only finished outside of the top 10 on 3 occasions. Obviously, 2 of those were with a crash. 4 occasions, 2 with a crash, and the other 2 were literally only 11th anyway. So there we go then. That is Moto2 finally done. It is time now to start negotiating MotoGP. We've got a lot of contracts, so yeah, we've got to dive into those. So then, we've got 3 contracts with factory teams and 3 with establishments of new teams. So we'll quickly have a look at that then. So who's interested here? Oh, actually, everybody's interested. It was just 3 new interests. So effectively, I can sign for whatever team I want by the looks of it. Obviously, I can still sign in Moto2 as well, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, but it seems like literally the proposal chance is high, so I can actually ride whatever bike I want going into MotoGP, which is really, really nice. I actually didn't expect that, to be completely honest, so that's a little bit of a surprise. At least on this front anyway, on the custom teams, I can sign for any of them. I don't know whether the actual factory teams might have a problem, but I'm not going to go with a custom team. I do want to go with a factory team, so let's have a look here. So yeah, actually it does look like all the teams are now interested, so I pretty much have got my free reign here, which is nice. It's nice to have that available. You can see we've now got the 2022 mod on as well. We can sign for any of the 2022 teams. So we've got With You, RNF Yamaha, obviously, is one of the options. We've got Grassini Racing. We've got the Mooney VR46 team, but still in the Sky livery, because it's not been updated in the mod yet. Yeah, I'm not sure what to go with, because I think I want to go with like a Honda or a Ducati, probably, to be competitive. Because the Yamaha just isn't good enough, in my opinion anyway. At least on the brakes, it's just not enough. The Aprilia obviously isn't very competitive in this game. The KTM is actually good in this game, I think. So it is tough, actually. I don't know what bike to go with. I'll put proposals in for a few teams because we're allowed to have 5 negotiations at once. We've already got 1 with IO, obviously, so we can only have 4 MotoGP teams. But I kind of want to go with a front-running team, but I also don't. I kind of like the idea of going for a bit of a worse-off team and trying to fight through. But the AI are quite good this year, so I don't want to leave myself too much to do. So I'll look at Grassini, I'll approach them, I'll approach RNF as well, because obviously they're 2 of the new teams. And then I'll approach Factory KTM, and I'll go with Aprilia as well. I really do like the idea of riding for Aprilia, to be honest. We'll leave that for now then, so we'll see what pans out with those different proposals. And to do that, we need to advance forward a few weeks. So I'll advance forward a week, see what happens there. So we've actually received 5 proposals, you can see. So they've all actually said yes, which is not really a surprise at all, is it? So we've got Red Bull KTM IO. We are going to refuse that because obviously I don't want to stay in Moto2. I want to go to MotoGP. So it is tough. I think I'll have a look at the different options here. So the Aprilia one is a 2-season contract, so that's worth noting. 1 season for the 2 satellite teams, but the factory teams obviously want 2. Which makes sense. So it's $1 million for the annual salary from them. Actually, to be honest, the different salaries, there's not a lot in it. RNF is actually giving quite a good salary there, 1.3 million. That's actually the most out of the lot. I think if I want to go with a challenge, probably going with the Yamaha is not the worst idea. Because the Yamaha, it has strengths. It's just not that good of a bike, honestly. For me, at least. I mean, I know it's one of the better bikes in the game, but it just doesn't stop well enough. That's the problem. And then obviously it doesn't have the straight line speed to kind of make up for that. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Yamaha. We'll go with RNF Yamaha here. That's who we're going to go with for the next season. So pretty much the only thing to do now is to kind of keep advancing forward to the end of the season, see what kind of offers we get from technical staff and that. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get any, to be honest. Oh no, as I say that, I get a new candidate for the chief engineer. Better on the electronics, but a lot worse on the engine. And to be honest, I think engine is definitely going to be somewhere we're going to be looking at for the Yamaha, so I'll reject him. We'll have a look at the telemetrist. Have we got anybody waiting? Yes, I actually have. So I think it's probably worth getting this Charlie Watson guy, because you can see he's 57 better on the engine and only 13 worse on the chassis. And that's only because the last guy was a really good chassis guy. So I think that's worth it. So I think I'm going to sign him. I'm going to sign Charlie Watson. So we've now got an A++ on the telemetrist. We've got an A on the chief engineer. He's really good on the engine, but really bad on the frame, actually. So it might be worth changing him out if I get the option to. But for now, obviously, I haven't got any options, so we'll keep advancing forward. And that's it then. So the Moto2 season is about to officially finish. We're about to actually go out of week 52, wrap back around to week 1, and we are going to be a MotoGP rider in this career mode for the first time. There we are, alongside Andrea Dovizioso and Darren Binder as the 3rd rider in RNF Yamaha. This is going to be an interesting season. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be interesting. So we still haven't had any chief engineer offers. I'm really fishing for some. I think I'm going to just keep advancing forward till we get up towards testing, and then I'll end off this episode there, and we can pick up where we left off in the next episode, do the testing and the first race of the season. So on week 4 here now, we've got a notification on the headquarters, so we now actually have enough to start doing a frame upgrade. And all the MotoGP upgrades are super expensive. I mean, this is the first upgrade we're going to be able to get for the frame, and it's already 2,000, so that tells you all you need to know. 4,000 down here for some of the stuff. Actually, the frame is not too bad. I think some of the other areas are probably a bit worse. It's not too bad on the research data, actually, but there we go. We'll develop this frame. I'm not going to take anybody off any other department. We're just going to keep the frame people on it, and that's just taking it down to 4 weeks now. So, yeah, within 4 weeks, we will have a new frame upgrade. But there we go then, it's come around pretty quickly. We're already to week 6, so that's where I'm going to end off this episode here then. We have now signed for a MotoGP team. We've started doing some upgrades. In the next episode, we're going to do the winter test and the first race of the season at Qatar. So I hope you do look forward to that. I'm going to try and bring the career modes out a little bit more frequently, so it shouldn't be too long. I don't know if it'll be the next video or the video after. Hopefully, the next career mode episode should be out fairly soon, so I hope you guys do look forward to that one. But I hope you did enjoy this video, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.